शिवा अरुणाचल 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 अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिवा Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachala, 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 Arunachal अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल 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 अरुणाचल शिवा
இப்ப கேக்குறதா பாருங்க, மைக் மியூட்ல இருந்து. இது எங்க இதுல ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணணுமா?
அருணாச்சல சிவா அருணாச்சல சிவா அருணாச்சல சிவா அருணாச்சல 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 அருணாச்சல சிவா Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachala, 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 Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal Shiva, Arunachal अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल शिवा अरुणाचल
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya. Good morning, everyone, and namaskaram to all. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya. Namaskaram to all. Good morning. Before we start today's program, I would like to request everyone to switch their phone off or keep it in silent mode. Thank you, everyone. We'll start today's program now. It's my blessing to welcome you all to the 73rd Aradhana Day celebration of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi. We have a devotion and joy-filled agenda today and are truly delighted to celebrate Aradhana Day in the presence of Dr. Venkatas Ramanan, President of Sri Ramana Ashramam, and Dr. Nitya Ramachandran. As Bhagavan's devotees, we celebrate three important dates associated with Bhagavan. Jayanti Day, the day when the absolute cosmic consciousness itself arises into a dimension to guide us. Advent Day, the day when the Avatara Purusha sets out to the nominated destination under the influence of the cosmic consciousness to launch the mission of absolute sadhana. Aradhana Day, the day that marks the absolute apex of the mission, reunion of the Avatara Purusha with the ever-present absolute cosmic consciousness. The Avatara Purusha may have shed his tenuous connection with our perceived dimension and gets reabsorbed back into the absolute cosmic consciousness. But in the case of our Bhagavan, it was a motherly reassurance that he'll be amidst us eternally. The word Aradhana means worship with dedicated effort. We join our fellow devotees on this brief journey to worship our Bhagavan for being our true north and guide us towards our self-awareness and merge at his feet. It is also the day we renew our dedication to our Guru and strengthen our efforts for realization by following the direct path of self-inquiry taught and assured by him. Let's join his devotees at Sri Ramana Ashramam and around the world to offer prayers, perform puja, chant his works, reflect on his teachings, and receive his blessings and guidance. With this, we'd like to start today's program with Akshara Ramana Malai chanting by all the devotees.
Speaker is off. Speaker is off. Oh, Michael and mute. What are you doing? Not meeting.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. மொட்டையடி நட்டமாடின அருணாச்சலா மௌனமிதாமோ அருணாச்சலா யவன் வாயில் யாரும் அறியாதன் மதியினை மருட்டியவர் கொலை கொண்ட அருணாச்சலா ரமணன் என்றுரைத்தேன் தோஷம் கொள்ளாத ஜெயவா அருணாச்சலா ராபகலில்லா வெணுவெளி வீட்டு ரமிச்சிடுவோம் அருணாச்சலா லட்சியம் வைத்தருளார் சிரம் வீட்டெழுந்தார் லாபமில்லிக பர லாபமில்லை உற்று லாபமென்று அருணாச்சலா வரும்படி சொல்லிலை வந்தென்படியல கருந்திடும் தலை விதி அருணாச்சலா வாவென்றும் வாழ்வகுணத்தேன் வாழ்விழந்தேன் அருணாச்சலா சீட்டிகை கட்டமாம் அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல வீடுள்ள காட்டினை அருள் எழிலினும் செயல் வெறுத்திடாரும் அருணாச்சலா வேதாந்தே வேரற விளங்கும் வேத பொருள் அருணாச்சலா வைகளை வாழ்த்தா வைத்தருள் புதியா வைத்தனை இடதருள் அருணாச்சலா அம்பு விழாலி அன்புரு புரியனை அருணை என்றென்னையான் அருள் கண்ணிப்பட்டே அருள் பலை காக்குமோ அருணாச்சலா சிந்தி தருள் பட சிவந்தி பொல் கட்டி சிறையே சுண்டனை அருணாச்சலா அன்போடு நாமம் கேள வர்க்கம் அருள் அருணாச்சலா என் போலும் தீனரை புறக்காத்து நீண்டாலும் பாட்டரும் எழும்புருகன் பத்தம் சொற்கொச்செறியும் கொலவருள் அருணாச்சலா பொறுமையம்பூதர உன் சொல்லை நன் சொல்லை பொறுத்தருள் அருணாச்சலா மாலையடி கருணாச்சல ரமணன் அருணாச்சலா மாலையடி கருணாச்சல ரமணன் மாலைய அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல அஸ்வரம்
Thank you, everyone. Next is Upadesa Saram chanting by all the devotees.
तत्पुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परम् कर्म तज्जडम् इति महोदयौ कथनकारणम् फलमशाश्वतम् प्रतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितम् स्वेच्छयाकृतम् चित्तशोधकम् मुक्तिसाधकम् कायवाङ्मना कार्यमुत्तमम् पूजनं जप चिन्तनं प्रमात् जगत ईषदी युक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिदेव पूजनम् उत्तमस्तवानुच्चमन्दता चित्तजं जप ज्ञानमुत्तमम् आजरारया सुप्रशासनम् सरलचिन्तनं निरतपरम् वेदभावना सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनामिता भावनीमता भावशून्यस भावसुस्थितिः भावना बला भक्तिरुत्तमा चित्तले मना स्वस्थता क्रिया भक्तियोगो नास्ति निश्चितम् वायुरोधना लीयते मना कालभक्षिगणम् चित्तवायव शाखयोद्वयी शक्तिमूलका भय विनाशने उभयरोधने भयगतं पुनर्भवति नोऽमृतम् प्राणबन्धनाधीनमानसम् एकचिन्तना नासनित्यता नष्टमानसो चित्तयोगिना नित्यमस्ति किं अस्ति नित्यता नित्यमारितं चित्तमात्मना चित्तदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनं मानसं तु किं मार्गनेत्रे नैव मानसं मार्गआचवान् चित्तयस्वहं चित्तिमाश्रिता चित्तयो मनो विद्यमात्मना अहमयं कुतो भवति चित्तता ऐपतत्यहं विचारणम् अहमिनाशभाजमहन्तया स्फुरति स्वयं कर्मपूर्णता इदमहं पदाभित्यमन्त्रम् अहमिलीनचेतनय सत्तया विक्रयेन्द्रिय प्राणधीतमा नाहमेकसज्जनं यथा सत्त्वभासिका चित्तवेतना सत्तया निशि चित्तया यमम् ईशजीवयो देशजीविता सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् देशहानम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपता आत्मसंस्थितिः आत्मदर्शनम् अरुणाचल परमात्मन् अरुणो भवति विकासाय अरुणाचल वदन्ति हृदयं नाम आमिति कुत आयाति जनिष्ठान्त प्रविष्टयात्यमलधिया अवगम्य स्वरूपम् शाम्यत् करुणाचलत्वयि त्यक्त्वा विषयं बाह्यम् रुद्ध प्राणेन रुद्ध मनसा स्वाम् पश्यति योगी कीर्तिम् अरुणाचलत्वयि महीयन्ते त्वयि अर्पितमनसा त्वाम् पश्यन् सर्वं तव कृतिकया सततम् भजति विद्या प्रजयत्करुणाचलत्वयि सुखे मग्नः श्रीमद्रमण महर्षे दर्शनम् अरुणाचलस्य देवगिरा पञ्चकुमार्यादितौ प्रथमम् परिषदम्.
Next is Ananda Swarupa by Devika and Gopika.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Ananda Swarupa Padvandava Ashrita Palaka Arunachala. Ananda Swarupa Padvandava Ashrita Palaka Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Vidhi Madhava Vandita Charana, Vidhi Madhava Vandita Charana, Pratyaksha Parama Arunachala, Pratyaksha Parama Arunachala. Jagadita Karana Virajata Chala Rupa, 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 Vimala Shri Arunachala, Vimala Shri Arunachala, 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 Arunachala. Ananda Swarupa Padvandava Ashrita Palaka Arunachala. Ananda Swarupa Padvandava Ashrita Palaka Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Samsarnavataraka-murte, Samsarnavataraka-murte, Smarane Sakshat Mokshakaram, Smarane Sakshat Mokshakaram. Aupita Kuchamba Sameda Murte, Aupita Kuchamba Sameda Murte, Aupita Kuchamba Sameda Murte, Aupita Kuchamba Sameda Murte, Tejomaya Shri Arunachala, Tejomaya Shri Arunachala, 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 Arunachala. अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल आनंद स्वरूप पद्मांडव आश्रित पालक अरुणाचल आनंद स्वरूप पद्मांडव आश्रित पालक अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल 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 ओम नमो भगवते श्री रमणाय.
Thank you, Gopika and Devika. Next is Jyoti Sarupa by Sri Hari in flute and Vishnu in violin. Thank you, Sri Hari and Vishnu. Next is reading by Dr. Nitya Ramachandran.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. I'm doing the reading from Arthur Osborne's book, Ramana Maharshi and the Path of Self-Knowledge. Chapter 17, Mahasamadhi. For several years before the body's end, at least from 1947 onwards, the health of Sri Bhagavan had caused alarm. Rheumatism had not only crippled his legs, but attacked his back and shoulders also. Even apart from that, there was an impression of great weakness, although he himself refused to take notice of it. It was felt that he needed a more nutritious diet than the ashram food, but he would not consent to take anything extra. He was not yet 70, but looked much more aged. Not careworn, for there was absolutely no sign of care. He had known none, just aged and very frail. Why was it that one who had been vigorous and robust, who had known little sickness in life and no grief or care, should have aged so much beyond his years? He that taketh upon himself the sins of the world, he who alleviates the karma of the devotees. It was only by himself drinking the poison churned up that Shiva could save the world from destruction. Sri Shankara wrote, O Shambhu, Lord of life, thou bearest also the burden of thy devotees' temporal life. There were many signs, always inconspicuous, how, even physically, Sri Bhagavan bore the burden. A devotee, Krishnamurti by name, has related in a Tamil journal issued by Janaki Ammal, a lady devotee, about how he went and sat in the hall one day when he had a severe pain in the index finger. He told no one, but to his surprise, he saw Sri Bhagavan hold and rub the same finger on his own hand, and the pain disappeared. Many others have known similar relief. For Sri Bhagavan, life on earth was no treasure to be economized. It was indifferent to him how long it lasted. There was once a discussion in the hall as to how long he would live. Some quoted the astrologers as saying he would live to be 80. Others either denied the accuracy of astrology or doubted its applicability to Sri Bhagavan, who had no more karma to work out. He listened to the discussion, smiling, but taking no part in it. A newcomer, puzzled by this, asked, "What does Bhagavan think about it?" He did not reply, but smiled approvingly when Devaraja Mudaliar replied for him, "Bhagavan does not think about it." The whole last year of his life was an illustration of this. The devotees grieved over the suffering and dreaded the threatened death. He did not. Early in 1949, a small nodule appeared below the elbow of his left arm. It was not considered serious, but in February, the ashram doctor cut it out. Within a month, it returned, larger and more painful. And this time, it was recognized as a malignant tumor and caused general alarm. Towards the end of March, doctors came from Madras and operated. The wound did not heal up properly, and the tumor soon began to grow again, larger and higher up. Henceforth, there was an air of tragedy and inevitability about the march of events. The orthodox medical men let it be known that they could not cure the tumor, but could only operate, and that it might return again, despite radium treatment, and if it did, would eventually prove fatal. Those of other schools believed that they could cure it and that operating would only bring it back in a worse form, as it in fact happened, but they were not allowed to try in time. When the tumor returned after the March operation, the doctors suggested amputating the arm, but there is a tradition that the body of a jnani should not be mutilated. Indeed, it should not be pierced with metal, and even the operation had been a breach of tradition. Sri Bhagavan had submitted to that, but he refused the amputation. There is no cause for alarm. The body itself is a disease. Let it have its natural end. Why mutilate it? Simple dressing of the part is enough. His saying there is no cause for alarm led to the hope that he would recover, despite the words that followed and despite the medical opinion. But for him, death was no cause for alarm. He also gave rise to hope by saying, everything will come right in due course. But in fact, it was for us to perceive the rightness of what occurred. He never doubted it. About this time, he translated into Tamil verse a stanza from the Bhagavatam, Skanda 9, chapter 13, sloka 36. Skanda 11. Let the body, the result of fructifying karma, remain still or move about, live or die. The sage who has realized the self is not aware of it, just as one in a drunken stupor is not aware of his clothing. Sometime later, he expounded a verse from the Yoga Vashishtam. The jnani who has found himself as formless, pure awareness is unaffected, though the body be cleft with a sword. Sugar candy does not lose its sweetness, though broken or crushed. Did Sri Bhagavan really suffer? He said to one devotee, they take this body for Bhagavan and attribute suffering to him. What a pity. And to one of the attendants, he said, where is pain if there is no mind? And yet, he showed normal physical reactions and normal sensitivity to heat and cold. And a devotee, S.S. Cohen, records him as having said years earlier, if the hand of the jnani were cut with a knife, there would be pain as with anyone else. But because his mind is in bliss, he does not feel the pain as acutely as others do. It is not that the body of the jnani does not suffer injury, but that he does not identify himself with the body. The doctors and some of the attendants were convinced that there was pain and that in the later stages it was excruciating. Indeed, the doctors were amazed at Sri Bhagavan's indifference to pain, at his complete unconcern, even during an operation. The question of his suffering, like the question of our karma, exists only from the point of view of duality. From his point of view, the point of view of Advaita, neither had any reality. It was with this meaning that he said more than once to devotees, I am only ill if you think I am. If you think I am well, I shall be well. So long as the devotee believed in the reality of his own body and its suffering, so long, for him, the body of the master was real and suffered also. For a week or two after the March operation, a village herbalist was allowed to try his treatment, but it brought no cure. Sri Bhagavan said to another aspirant who was passed over, I hope you don't mind when you have taken so much trouble with your medicines. It was never any thought of his own condition, only consideration for those who wished to treat him and loyalty to whatever doctor was in charge. Occasionally, he protested at the amount of attention bestowed on his body. Several times when there seemed to be an improvement, he declared that he wanted no more treatment. The tumor, diagnosed now as a sarcoma, sapped his remaining vitality. And yet, even as he weakened, his face grew gentler, more gracious, and more radiantly beautiful. At times, his beauty was almost painful to behold. The arm was heavy and inflamed and the tumor growing. Occasionally, he would admit, there is pain, but he would never say, I have pain. In August, a third operation was carried out and the wound treated with radium in the hope of destroying the affected tissues and preventing the return of the tumor. The same afternoon, a few hours after the operation, Sri Bhagavan was so gracious as to sit on the veranda of the dispensary where it had been performed so that the devotees could file past and have darshan. One could see that he was exhausted, but there was no sign of suffering in his face. I had come for the day from Madras, and as I stood before him, the radiance of his smile was such that even exhaustion ceased to be visible. At noon next day, he returned to the hall so as not to inconvenience other patients by occupying the dispensary. There was also a deeper sense of inevitability far beyond the medical, that Sri Bhagavan knew what was appropriate and sought to give us strength to endure his body's death. Indeed, this long, painful sickness came to appear as a means of preparing us for the inevitable parting which many had first felt they would not be able to endure. Kitty, who was at a boarding school in the hills, was told about it in a letter and wrote back, "I am so sorry to hear about it, but Bhagavan knows what is best for us." Her letter was shown to him, and his face was radiant with pleasure as he commended her wisdom for saying, "What is best for us," not "what is best for him." He had immense compassion for those who grieved over the suffering, and he sought to appease their grief, not the easy way by removing the suffering and postponing death for a few more years, but the fundamental way by making them realize that the body was not Bhagavan. They take this body for Bhagavan and attribute suffering to him. What a pity. They are despondent that Bhagavan is going to leave them and go away. Where can he go and how? For some weeks after the August operation, there seemed to be an improvement. But in November, the tumor appeared again, higher up in the arm near the shoulder. In December, the fourth and last operation was carried out. The wound from this never healed. The doctors admitted now that they could do no more. The case was hopeless, and if the tumor returned again, they could only administer palliatives. Jayanti fell on January 5th, 1950. Sorrowful crowds gathered for this, his 70th birthday, which most now felt to be his last. He gave darshan and listened to many new songs composed in his praise. Some he read through. The temple elephant from town came and bowed before him and touched feet with its trunk. A Rani from North India was allowed to take a motion picture of the same. There was festivity, but with an underlying sadness of apprehension. Many felt already that it was a matter of weeks or days. Now that the case had been pronounced hopeless, Sri Bhagavan was asked to say himself what treatment should be tried. He said, "Have I ever asked for any treatment? It is you who want this and that for me. So it is for you to agree about it amongst yourself. If I were asked, I should always say, as I have said from the beginning, that no treatment is necessary. Let things take their course." Only after this, homeopathy was tried and then Ayurveda, but it was too late. Sri Bhagavan kept to his normal daily routine until it became physically impossible. He took his morning bath an hour before sunrise, sat up to give darshan at fixed hours, morning and evening, went through the ashram correspondence and supervised the printing of ashram publications, often making suggestions. After January, he became too weak to sit in the hall and give darshan. A small bathroom with an anteroom had been constructed across the drive just east of the hall, and towards the end, he remained there. There was a narrow little veranda outside where his couch was put, and right up to the end, the devotees whom his sickness had drawn in their hundreds to Tiruvannamalai still had darshan. He would let nothing interrupt this as long as it was still possible. The devotees would sit morning and afternoon on the hall veranda facing him. Later, when he had grown too weak for that, they would file past the open door of his room morning and evening. One day, his condition caused alarm and the darshan was stopped. But as soon as he was able to take notice, he expressed displeasure and ordered it to be resumed. A group of devotees daily chanted prayers and devotional songs for his recovery. He was asked about their efficacy and replied, smiling, "It is certainly desirable to be engaged in good activities. Let them continue." The tumor returned just above the unhealed wound. It was up near the shoulder now, and the whole system was poisoned, so that severe anemia set in. The doctors said the pain must be terrible. He could take scarcely any nourishment. Occasionally, he was heard to moan in his sleep, but he gave no other sign of pain. From time to time, the doctors came from Madras to see him, and he was courteous and hospitable as ever. Right up to the end, his first question was whether they had received food, whether they were well looked after. His sense of humor also remained. He would joke about the tumor as though it was something that did not concern him. A woman in her grief beat her head against a pillar near the room, and he looked surprised and then said, "Oh, I thought she was trying to break a coconut." Speaking to the attendants and to T. N. Krishnaswamy, doctor and devotee, he explained, "The body is like a banana leaf on which all kinds of delicious food have been served. After we have eaten the food from it, do we take the leaf and preserve it? Do we not throw it away now that it has served its purpose?" On another occasion, he said to the attendants, "Who is to carry this load of a body even after it needs assistance in everything? Do you expect me to carry this load that it would take 4 men to carry?" And to some of the devotees, "Suppose you go to a firewood depot and buy a bundle of firewood and engage a coolie to carry it to your house. As you walk along with him, he will be anxiously looking forward to his destination so that he can throw off his burden and get relief. In the same way, the jnani is anxious to throw off his mortal body." And then he corrected the explanation. This exposition is all right as far as it goes, but strictly speaking, even this is not quite accurate. The jnani is not even anxious to shed his body. He is indifferent, alike to the existence or non-existence of the body, being almost unaware of it. Once unasked, he defined moksha to one of the attendants. "Do you know what moksha is? Getting rid of the non-existent misery and attaining the bliss which is always there. That is moksha." It was hard to give up hope that even if the doctors failed, he might still put aside the sickness by his own power. A devotee begged him to give but a single thought to the desirability of getting well, as this would have been enough. But he replied almost scornfully, "Who could have such a thought?" And to others who asked him simply to will his recovery, he said, "Who is there to will this?" The other, the individual that could oppose the course of destiny, no longer existed in him. It was the non-existent misery that he had got rid of. Some of the devotees made it a plea for their own welfare. "What is to become of us without Bhagavan? We are too weak to look after ourselves. We depend on his grace for everything." And he replied, "You attach too much importance to the body," clearly implying that the end of his body would not interrupt the grace and guidance. In the same vein, he said, "They say that I am dying, but I am not going away. Where could I go? I am here." Mrs. Talyar Khan, a Parsi devotee, besought him, "Bhagavan, give this sickness to me instead. Let me bear it." And he replied, "And who gave it to me?" Then who gave it to him? Was it not the poison of our karma? A Swedish sadhu had a dream in which the afflicted arm opened and he saw there the head of a woman with grey hair disheveled. This was interpreted to mean that it was the karma of his mother that he assumed when he gave her moksha. But others saw the woman to signify all mankind or Maya itself. On Thursday, April 13th, a doctor brought Sri Bhagavan a palliative to relieve the congestion in the lungs, but he refused it. "It is not necessary. Everything will come right within 2 days." That night, he bade his attendants to go and sleep or meditate and leave him alone. On Friday, the doctors and attendants knew it was the last day. In the morning, he again bade them go and meditate. About noon, when liquid food was brought for him, he asked the time, punctual as ever, but then added, "But henceforth, time doesn't matter." Delicately expressing recognition of their long years of service, he said to the attendants, "The English have a word, thanks, but we only say santosham. I am pleased." In the morning, the long crowd filed past the open doorway, silent with grief and apprehension, and again between 4 and 5 in the evening. The disease-racked body they saw there was shrunken, the ribs protruding, the skin blackened. It was a pitiable vestige of pain. And yet, at some time during these last few days, each devotee received a direct, luminous, penetrating look of recognition, which he felt as a parting infusion of grace. After darshan that evening, the devotees did not disperse to their homes. Apprehension held them there. At about sunset, Sri Bhagavan told the attendants to sit him up. They knew already that every movement, every touch was painful, but he told them not to worry about that. He sat with one of the attendants supporting his head. A doctor began to give him oxygen, but at the wave of his right hand, he motioned him away. There were about a dozen persons in the small room, doctors and attendants. Two of the attendants were fanning him, and the devotees outside gazed spellbound at the moving fans through the window, a sign that there was still a living body to fan. A reporter of a large American magazine moved about restlessly, uneasy at having been impressed, despite himself, and determined not to write his story till he got away from Tiruvannamalai to conditions that he considered normal. With him was a French press photographer. Unexpectedly, a group of devotees sitting on the veranda outside the hall began singing Arunachala Shiva. On hearing it, Sri Bhagavan's eyes opened and shone. He gave a brief smile of indescribable tenderness. From the outer edges of his eyes, tears of bliss rolled down. One more deep breath and no more. There was no struggle, no spasm, no other sign of death, only that the next breath did not come. For a few moments, people stood bewildered. The singing continued. The French press photographer came up to me and asked at what precise minute it had happened. Resenting it as journalistic callousness, I replied brusquely that I did not know. And then I suddenly recalled Sri Bhagavan's unfailing courtesy and answered precisely that it was 8:47. He said, and I could hear now that he was excited, that he had been pacing the road outside, and at that very moment, an enormous star had trailed slowly across the sky. Many had seen it, even as far away as Madras, and felt what it portended. It passed to the northeast towards the peak of Arunachala. After the first numbness, there was a wild burst of grief. The body was carried out onto the veranda in a sitting posture. Men and women crowded up to the veranda railing to see. A woman fainted. Others sobbed aloud. The body was placed garlanded upon a couch in the hall, and the devotees thronged there and sat around it. One had expected the face to be rock-like in samadhi, but found it instead to be so marked by pain that it gripped one's heart. Only gradually, during the night, did the air of mysterious composure return to it. All that night, devotees sat in the large hall and the townsfolk passed through in awed silence. Processions streamed from the town and back, singing Arunachala Shiva. Some of the devotees in the hall sang songs of praise and grief. Others sat silent. What was most noticeable was not the grief, but the calm beneath it, for they were men and women deprived of him whose grace had been the very meaning of their life. Already that first night, and much more during the days that followed, it became clear how vital had been his words. I am not going away. Where could I go? I am here. The word here does not imply any limitation, but rather that the self is that there is no going, no changing for that which is universal. Nevertheless, as devotees felt the inner presence of Bhagavan, and as they felt the continued divine presence at Tiruvannamalai, they began to regard it as a promise full of love and solicitude. During the night of vigil, a decision had to be taken as to the burial. It had been thought that the body might be interred in the new hall, but many devotees opposed the idea. They felt that the hall was, in a sense, an adjunct to the temple and would make the shrine of Sri Bhagavan seem subordinate to that of the mother, reversing the true order of things. Next day, by general agreement, a pit was dug and the body interred with divine honors in the space between the old hall and the temple. The crowd, packed tight, looked on in silent grief. No more the beloved face, no more the sound of his voice. Henceforth, the lingam of polished black stone, the symbol of Shiva over the samadhi, was the outer sign, and inwardly, his footprints in the heart. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Thank you, Dr. Nitya. Next is a song in praise of 100 years of Ramana Ashramam celebrations by Uma and PSG.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. After that touching reading by Nitya, it's really difficult for me to even stand here and talk about something different. But anyway, I mean, now Bhagavan's grace is always there, and that's why we have these 100 years of celebrations. So before we listen to the talk of the Ramanashram's president, we thought it was appropriate to sing this invocation song on the occasion of 100 years completion of the Ramanashram. This is our humble effort to seek the blessings of Bhagavan for the ashram to run many more centuries and forever. The invocation was written with the inspiration from one of the verses from Nalayira Divya Prabandham, which is 4,000 verses written by Lord Vishnu's many devotees called Alvars, this verse goes like Pallandu Pallandu Pallayirattandu Palakodi Nooraayiram. So and then the subsequent song is in praise of Ramanashram's completion of 100 years and how Bhagavan's Sannidhyam, which is the grace, still exists there forever for us to lose our mind there to merge with that inner I, Atma. It is written and composed by it is written in the tune of Mamava Madhava Deva, composed by Sri Narayana Tirthar in the Raga Nilambari. Sri Narayana Tirthar is coincidentally a 17th century saint and jnani who had composed many songs in praise of Lord Krishna. He attained Jiva Samadhi in the Tiruppunturuthi near Varagur in Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur district. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Now the song.
பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோட்டியாண்டுகள் வாழ்க. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடியாண்டுகள் வாழ்க. ரமணாசிரமமே வாழ்க. என்றென்றும் வளர்ந்து ஓங்கி விருந்திட உன்னருள் வேண்டுமே ரமணா. உன்னருள் வேண்டுமே ரமணா. ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம் ரமணனின் ஆசிரமம் அருணையின் ஆசிரமம். ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம் ரமணரின் ஆசிரமம் அருணையின் ஆசிரமம். ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம். கருணையின் வடிவான தன்னை உணர்ந்த கருணையின் வடிவான தன்னை உணர்ந்த ரமணரின் ஆசிரமம் வளர்ந்து உயர்ந்திட கருணை வடிவான தன்னை உணர்ந்த அருணனின் ஆசிரமம் வளர்ந்து உயர்ந்திட ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம் ரமணரின் ஆசிரமம் அருணையின் ஆசிரமம். ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம். சாந்தமே உருவான ஜோதி வடிவான ரமணரின் அருள் பெற்ற ஆசிரமமே. சாந்தமே உருவான ஜோதி வடிவான ரமணரின் அருள் பெற்ற ஆசிரமமே. பல்நூறு வருடங்கள் ஆன போதிலும் பல்நூறு வருடங்கள் ஆன போதிலும் ரமணரின் அருளுக்கு குறைவில்லையே. ரமணரின் அருளுக்கு குறைவில்லையே. ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம் ரமணரின் ஆசிரமம் அருணையின் ஆசிரமம். ஆண்டுகள் நூறையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம். ஞானரவீனை மறைக்கும் மனமேகம் அரை நொடியில் அழித்திடும் ஆசிரமமே.
ஞான ரவியினை மறைக்கும் மனமேக அரை நொடியில் அழித்திடும் ஆசிரமமே சுந்தர அழகனே ஞானத்தின் உருவமே அழகனே ஞானத்தின் உருவமே என்றென்றும் எப்போதும் அருள் புரிவாய் என்றென்றும் எப்போதும் அருள் புரிவாய் ஊரையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம் ரமணரின் ஆசிரமம் அருணையின் ஆசிரமம் ஆண்டுகள் ஊரையும் தாண்டிய ஆசிரமம்
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Thank you, PSG and Uma PS. That was a beautiful rendition. Next, I will request Dr. Venkat S. Ramanan, Ashram President, to come here, please. I will request now Dr. Venkat S. Ramanan to unveil the Sri Ramana Ashram Heritage Center plaque. Next, we would like to hear from you as well.
Antaryasya bahir vidudatimiram Jyotirmayam shashvatam Sthanam prapya virajate vinamatam Ajnanam unmulayan Pashyan vishmamapita mullasati Yo vishvasya pare paraha Tasmai Shri Ramanaya Loka Guruve Shokasya Hantre Namaha Tuppari Villa Ippira Penpayan Uppida Vayen Arunachala. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Very greetings to the sisters, brothers, and children in Sri Bhagavan. Wishing you all a very happy 73rd Aradhana of Sri Bhagavan. This is an august gathering of mature devotees. I mean, brings tears to my eyes to see the ever-increasing maturity in each one of you every time I happen to turn around and come back at very short notice. And as DC was home for us for 28 years, but I promise you I'll slow down the frequency of visits because a lot of things are going on, a lot of exciting things are going on in the ashram, and starting with the centenary of the ashram. The theme of the centenary is Sri Ramanashramam, the first 100 years, the next 100 years, and forever. And that theme was beautifully brought out, even better than what we could say by Uma and PS. What a moving song, and really hats off to them. Really moving composition. And when we have such devotees, for an organization is only as strong as the sum of its parts. When we have such an august group of people gathered and following the master's teachings, with even more clarity than when he was in the body, what my job as a president is very easy and really just an honor and a privilege. And my path to moksha is by serving you all and getting a little bit of your punya. Friends, on the Aradhana was celebrated in the ashram last week with traditional pomp. There was Nadaswaram to wake everybody in the neighborhood out of their slumber at 4:45 in the morning. Beautifully done. And then we had a robust chanting of Tamil Parayana, which some of you must have seen through the live telecast. And afterwards, after breakfast, we had elaborate puja at the shrine with live singing from 7:45 to 10:45. And again, several thousands of people were fed a festive meal, lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would take this opportunity to refresh our thinking. Why, friends, are we gathered here to celebrate Aradhana? And why are we having a satsang? And what exactly is a satsang? And because periodically questioning why we do such things would take the monotony out of the exercise and bring about the magic that we bring about during such occasions. Literally, Aradhana in Tamil means worship. In Hindu religious parlance, it denotes the yearly worship offered to a saint on the day of their shedding the mortal coil. What does Aradhana mean? Is it enough to just pay our respects to our Guru, worship him on that day, crave for his blessings? Is this the only significance? Is the Aradhana limited to only one single day? Is the celebration of Aradhana mean different meaning for us, Sri Bhagavan's devotees, as compared to other groups? For we are all in various degrees of annihilation of body consciousness, ego-related problems. First of all, let us evaluate what birth or death mean to a jnani. Sri Bhagavan always challenges us by asking us, who is born? It is only he who asks, whence am I born? That is truly who is born in Brahman, the prime source. He indeed is born eternally. He is the Lord of saints. He is the ever new. This is from Ulladu Narpadu Anubandham, verse 11. It therefore follows that the true birth is our spiritual birth, our journey towards the Atman, the eternal being. The birth of the body is not our true birth. Extending the logic, we come to the conclusion that the death of the body cannot also be construed as true death. The death experience of Sri Bhagavan resulted in the death of I am the body idea. The limited self died, and therein was born the true self, the supreme sage. On that warm day in Madurai, the death of the 16-year-old Venkataraman resulted in the permanent birth of Sri Ramana Maharshi, the sage, the savior of the sincere seekers of truth. This is well put by Acharya Vinoba Bhave, a Gandhian, who was a devotee of Bhagavan. He paid one of the most fitting tributes to Bhagavan on the occasion of his Mahanirvana. Quote, Sri Ramana Maharshi did not give up his body now. He gave up his body when he was 16 years old. Vinoba Bhave put the incident in proper perspective, emphasizing the truth that Sri Bhagavan's present transcended his physical frame. His physical death was just the disappearance of his body. The Supreme Self remains untouched, as powerful as ever. This is why Bhagavan counseled his grieving devotees, testifying to his timeless presence when he said, where can I go? I'm always here. So why are we observing his Aradhana with pujas and feasting? Is it just a yearly ritual to be forgotten the next day, to be remembered the same time next year? If it were limited to just performing pujas, singing his hymns on that particular day, then very little purpose is served. It will then remain a mere ritual. But if we understand the true significance of Bhagavan's Mahanirvana, then the yearly observance of Aradhana will be of great significance to all of us. We have seen that true birth is the birth of knowledge, the Atma Vidya, the establishing of true being, the spiritual heart, the Hridayam, which is only born upon the death of I am the body idea. Birth and death, friends, are not really different, but are only two sides of the same coin. As I said, the boy Venkataraman had to die on that day, 16, to be born as the supreme sage, Sri Ramana Maharshi. The real question is, therefore, are we prepared to give up our ego, let it die, so that our true I will take birth? And it is not as if the true I did not exist before, always exist. Rather, it is the only truth. But we who are occupied with our little selves are hardly aware of its presence. It is only upon the death of the ego, the giving up of the I am the body idea, that we become truly and fully aware of it. The Aradhana of the Sadguru, who guides us through this death and birth, is therefore important and can be an instrument of inner transformation in each one of us. If only on this day we renew our pledge to pursue the truth, our Guru's teachings, with a dedicated passion. On this day, when we are celebrating Bhagavan's Aradhana, let us resolve to rededicate ourselves, to die to our ego and be born anew in the eternal self. May we all march on to Atma Sakshatkara, where observance of Bhagavan's Aradhana will then be truly relevant and most useful. Coming to the second question today, why are we doing a satsang and what is a satsang? Friends, when I went back to the ashram and everybody asked me, what do you want? What do you want to do new and thing? The one simple word is, I want to be known as the satsang president. And I'm glad to report to you that we have new satsang centers happening everywhere. Every month somebody writes to me and I encourage them to gather and not be worried, and always tell them the story of DC, how we started with 3 or 4 families, and I think Bhaskar would testify. We have several hundred people interested in the function. And again, numbers don't matter, but then what matters is the intensity of the devotees and how we benefit from the gatherings, how closer we get to Bhagavan's truth by these gatherings. And the why I would like to say is, what is a satsang? What does it do to me on this spiritual path is a valid question each one of you can ask. In a traditional meaning, it means holy company, association with the good and wise. However, Bhagavan refined this term, this 8-to-1 spiritual practice. Satsang derives its meaning based on the etymological meaning of the term Upanishad, that is to sit close by or near to a realized holy man. So there are those teachings given by sages to their disciples who are sitting steadfastly near their teachers, and they were able to grasp the meaning of the teachings, and those utterings were called Upanishads. The implication was that in order to receive the wisdom, one had to be in the direct presence of the sage and receive his or her blessings experientially. However, some Advaitins interpreted the term Upanishad to mean steadfastly sitting close to the inner self. In other words, this wisdom simultaneously applied to both an internal and external relationship with the Guru. Bhagavan used both meanings of the term for the term satsang, but he gave priority and preference to the latter meaning. For, after all, what is a sage? A sage is certainly not his or her body. She is an embodiment of the self. Of course, being in the presence of a realized sage is remarkable, as one is in the presence of the external manifestation of the self with incredible benefits from such an association. Quote, everyone is apt to be confused from time to time. This is Bhagavan's quote. Although the truth is heard and understood, at times it is forgotten and mistakes are committed when facts face the person. Knowledge gives place to ignorance and confusion is the result. But the sage alone can give the right turn to our thoughts from time to time. That is the necessity for satsanga, association with wise, from talk 609. Bhagavan said that the real being is the self, and therefore no physical form is needed for satsang. He often spoke of the immense benefit of a jnani. The flow of power from the Guru can be received by anyone whose attention is focus on the self. Distance is no impediment to its efficacy. This attention is often called satsanga, which literally means association with the being. Ramana said that this was the most efficient way of bringing about a direct experience of the self. Bhagavan gave a much wider definition. He said that the most element in satsanga was the mental connection with the Guru. Satsanga takes place not only in his presence, but whenever and wherever one thinks of him. The supreme value of satsang is further confirmed with the following 5 verses of the glory of satsang from Ulladinarpada Anubandham. Quote 1. By satsang, the association with the objects of the world will be removed. When that worldly association is removed, the attachment or tendencies of the mind will be destroyed. Those who are devoid of mental attachment will become one with that which is motionless. Thus, they attain liberation. Cherish their association. The next verse. The supreme state which is praised and which is attained here in this life by clear inquiry, which arises in the spiritual heart when association with a realized person is gained, is impossible to attain to listening to preachers, by studying and learning the meaning of scriptures, by virtuous deeds, or by any other means. 3. Verse 3. If one gains associations with sages, of what use are all religious observances when the excellent cool southern breeze is flowing? What is the use of holding on to a fan? 4. Heat will be removed by the cool moon, poverty by the celestial wish-fulfilling tree, and sin by the Ganges. But know that all these, beginning with heat, will be removed merely by having the blessed darshan of incomparable sages. 5th verse, the last one. Sacred bathing places, which are composed of water and images of deities, which are made of stone and earth, cannot be comparable to those great souls. Ah, what a wonder! The bathing places and the deities bestow purity to mind after countless days, whereas such purity is instantly bestowed upon people as soon as sages see them with their eyes. I'll quote from talks again. Quote, for many of us who did not have chance to be in his physical presence, he remarked, I'm going to quote now. Bhagavan says, do you mean the physical proximity of the sage is helpful? What is the good of it? The mind alone matters. The mind is what that must be contracted. Talk 171. What satsang does is to make the mind sink into the heart, the spiritual resting place of the Atman. Association with the sage is both physical and mental. The extremely visible being of the sage pushes the mind inward, and the sage is also the heart of the seeker, and so he draws the latter inward bent mind into the heart. Talk 223. Now, friends, I'd like to conclude by giving you updates on the centenary celebrations. As I mentioned, the ashram has on a path to encourage satsang centers, because being living in the US for 28 years, I see the value of this association with the wise, where each of us watch out for one another, and we go on this path, march on towards moksha under the watchful eyes of our master, helping each other. The we are in the almost completion stages of new rooms in the ashram. So I hope next time when you visit, we will we have a chance to enjoy the rooms, so that we're getting tired of saying no rooms, no rooms. So even though we don't want to become, fill Tirunamlai with rooms, but our devotees need a place where they need not worry about the day-to-day things and just can spend their 3 to 5 days or 10 days just in the ashram, drinking the spiritual nectar. There's more greening effect all around the ashram. The ashram will work with the collector, who is one of our government trustees, who has offered us complete support in reviving the various ponds. Historically, there used to be 108 ponds all over the Girivalam path. Now we can probably see 8 or 10 of them. And there are beautiful aqueducts built by a king with wisdom, so that every drop of rain which fell on the holy hill was captured through that aqueduct into the 108 ponds all over. So we have that, we are trying to de-weed all those, and so that the water can flow down and at least revive, starting with a few wells, 2 ponds near the ashram, and that results in a tremendous increase in the groundwater all over the ashram, the town. I'm sure you'd have noticed much more trees and plants and flowers all over the ashram. So we like to continue that in a very ecologically sensitive way. We don't want to consume groundwater to drinking water to water plants. We want to make this centenary celebration use the devotees' money well. We'll have gatherings like that, but we will not have too many of those. We would use this opportunity to revive in old books written on Bhagavan in various world languages, and already several books are coming up in European languages and in Indian languages. The goal is to have the 10 core books of Bhagavan in each world and Indian language, and as you know, at the lowest cost possible. The ashram is committed that we will not make any profit out of these books. So that we will try to, and I promise you, no book will ever go out of print after this intervention. The digital process of the ashram is going on well. I hope you're all taking advantage of the daily Veda Parana in the evening and the pujas. We'll try to live cast every important function of the ashram. And so the final objective of the centenary is to get a deeper association with the devotees and the ashram. We want to make this a responsive place where we are in constant communication with the devotees, and you are our strength. And I want to sincerely mean that. And any good suggestion and going along with the times, we will maintain the ancient tradition and purity, but a tinker on the side to make sure that you all have a good experience whenever you visit the ashram. And with these words, I will move on to the next item in the function. Thank you so much for your attention. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Anand, for the inspiring speech and providing update on Bhagavan's 100th centenary celebrations. Now, we have in our midst Srimati Satya Kumari, who's our music school Lalita's mom. She was born in Tiruvannamalai. Her mother, Rajalakshmi Ammal, was brought up by Bhagavan himself. In her childhood, Srimati Satya Kumari used to visit Bhagavan along with her mom. She still remembers how he used to bless his devotees whenever devotees brought some offerings for Bhagavan. He would distribute the prasadams to all the devotees. Currently, Srimati Satya Kumari lives in Villanur, a town in Pondicherry, and runs an educational institution in rural Villanur. In this school, apart from academics, the children are taught vocational courses like typewriting, shorthand, Indian arts, music, and devotional hymns. I will request Dr. Venkatas Ramanan to felicitate Srimati Satya Kumari. Now I'll request Srimati Satya Kumari to talk about her experiences with Bhagavan.
எல்லோருக்கும் எனக்கு வணக்கம். இந்த செஞ்சுரி செலிப்ரேஷனை கலந்துக்கிறதுக்கு நான் ரொம்ப கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்கணும். ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியா இருக்கு. என்னுடைய அம்மா ராஜலட்சுமியாவும் பகவானால வளர்க்கப்பட்டதுதா. அவ அடிக்கடி திருமணம் போகச்சு என்னையும் சின்னவளா இருக்குச்சு அழைச்சிட்டு போவா. அவர் போக பகவான் உடனே ராஜி சாப்பிட்டியா, குழந்தைக்கு சாதம் போட்டியா அப்படின்னு தான் கேட்பாரு. போன உடனே அவரை பாக்குறதுக்கு எனக்கு ரொம்ப, அந்த சமயம் சின்னவளா இருக்குன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. ரொம்ப 1946-47 நான் என்னை முதல்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் சேர்க்கறதுக்கு எங்க அம்மா அழைச்சு போனேன். அப்ப ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அவர்கிட்ட பிளஸிங் வாங்குறதுக்காக என்னை அழைச்சுன்னு போயிருந்தா. அப்போ சுவாமிகள் அவர் உட்கார்றதுக்கு அந்த ஒரு நிலையும் அவருடைய கண் பார்வையும் அவர் முகமும் எனக்கு ஆழ்ந்த மனத்துல அப்படியே பதிஞ்சிருத்து. அதை இன்னுவரை எனக்கு கண்ணு முன்னால நினைச்சா அப்படியே ஞாபகமா இருக்கும். எங்க அம்மா எப்பவும் நல்லதையே செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. பகவான் கிட்ட இருந்தனால அவ எனக்கு நல்லதையே செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. ஒரு தரம் எங்க அம்மா நார்த்துல இருக்கும் பொழுது எங்க அம்மாவுடைய பாட்டி கங்கையில ஸ்நானம் பண்ணியிருந்தாளாம். அப்போ என்ன ஒரு ஜோதி போறது, இந்த ஜோதி யாரோ மகானுடைய ஜோதியா இருக்கும் போல் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு நினைச்சாலும், சாயந்தரம் அந்த மறுநாள் அங்க ரேடியோல பகவான் மகரிஷி அவர் முக்தி அடைஞ்சிட்டான்னு சொன்ன உடனே, நான் இந்த இடத்துல இல்லாத போயிட்டேனே அப்படின்னு ரொம்ப வருத்தமா இருந்தா. நான் இந்த சமயத்துல போய் இங்க வந்துட்டேனே, பகவான் கிட்ட இல்லாத போயிட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ரொம்ப வருத்தப்பட்டிருந்தான். அவருடைய ஆசையினால நம்ம எல்லோரும் ரொம்ப நன்றா இருக்கும். நான் ஒரு ஸ்கூல் நடத்துறேன். அந்த ஸ்கூல்ல அகாடமிக் தவிர ஆர்ட், அப்புறம் மத்தியானம் பிரேக் லஞ்ச் டைம்ல ஸ்லோகம்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுக்குறேன். பகவான் மகரிஷி நம்ம எல்லாரையும் நல்ல சந்தோஷத்துடனும் ஆரோக்கியமா வைக்கிறதுக்கு நான் அவரிடம் பிரார்த்திக்கிறேன்.
So, so Bhagavan, she used to go to in Bhagavan's ashram when during her childhood with her mom, Rajalakshmi Amma, and she very much remembers the incidents when in 1941, at that time she was around 5 or 6 years old when she was about to start her school. So mom said, let's go and get the blessings from Bhagavan first. So she went there. As soon as she went there, Bhagavan was telling, first to go and eat. Bhagavan always wanted people has to be fed well. That is only when you can think about other things. So he was very, very particular about that. And when my grandma, which is her mom, she always say when she used to sit next to her, and Bhagavan she will ask for brinjal. Can you serve more brinjal? The people will say, no, you eat that first. Then Bhagavan will say, put her some more brinjal. Her happiness lies in the food. That is her happiness. Only then she can go for the other things. So always Bhagavan wanted to see that the people are fed very well. That's what she was just mentioning. And also her great grandma Venupati, she was in Kashi, in Hanuman Ghat. That is where she spent her most of the days and last adulthood. And there she was taking a bath in 1951 in River Ganga. At that time, she saw a Jyoti just going above. And that is when she realized some great Mahatma has attained Mukti. And then the next day, she hears it in the radio that it was Bhagavan, Ramana Bhagavan. And she felt so sad that she was not there with Bhagavan to serve him at the last moment. So mom says that Ramana Bhagavan will bless us all devotees to live a healthy and wealthy life. Thank you.
Thank you, Satyakumari Amma. Next is kids singing. Achala Aruna Arunachala. Sahana Komanduri will be singing this song. Sahana.
I just want to add a few words to this. Sahana commentary comes from the 6th generation of Ramana devotee, from Venu party and her sister Echa party and Rajalakshmi party, then my mom's brother, Vishwanathan uncle, and then Ramya, her daughter. I am so glad that she is able to participate in this, and Bhagavan's blessings are there with her. Few years ago, she was very small. At that time, she came to Prima. I got a dream yesterday. Ramana Bhagavan came and she drew the drawing as Bhagavan also. And that is how she is blessed. So Bhagavan, whenever the kids want, he always comes to them and blesses them. That is the beauty of Bhagavan. She will be singing a composition, Achala Arunachala, and this is composed by Shamavedam Shanmugagaru, who has composed a lot of songs, around 3,000 songs on Arunachala. And he is actually a devotee of Ramana Bhagavan also, familiarizing these songs through SVBC channel, which is only doing the Perumal songs, but now these songs are also being telecast through that, and she will be doing that.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. I will be singing Achala Arunachala in the Ragam Kiravani. Achala Aruna Arunachala Shiva Achara Chara Jagachalaka Achala Aruna Arunachala Shiva Achara Chara Jagachalaka Mamavachala Aruna Arunachala Shiva Achara Chara Jagachalaka Mamavachala Aruna Arunachala Shiva Achara Chara Jagachalaka Achala Aruna Arunachala Shiva Achara Chara Jagachalaka. Analalinga Yadyantarahita Kanadhadrotsava Kalita Vaibhava Analalinga Yadyantarahita Kanadhadrotsava Kalita Vaibhava Vinatadeva Vidhi Vinatadeva Vidhi Vishvachitapada Pranava Jyota Swarupa Shankara Vinatadeva Vidhi Vishvachitapada Pranava Jyota शङ्कराचल अरुणाचल शिव अचर चर जगच्चालक मामवचल अरुणाचल शिव अचर चर जगच्चालक अनघापीत कुचाम्बरादित अनुपम योगी जनाश्रय तत्व अनघापीत कुचाम्बरादित अनुपम योगी जनाश्रय तत्व विरमित मुनि जन तीर्थ रमणीय घन षण्मुखवा कमल वरुण विरमित मुनि जन तीर्थ रमणीय घन षण्मुखवा कमल वरुण अचल अरुणाचल शिव अचर चर जगच्चालक मामवचल अरुणाचल शिव अचर चर जगच्चालक ओम नमो भगवते श्री रमणाय।
Next is a group singing by Lalita's music school's kids. I'd like to call Skanda Bhaskar.
So first we will have Chandrachuda. Four recent Chandrachuda. Megha. Come. Skanda நீங்க வா. அடுத்த பாட்டு. Amrita. Megha Balaji. Megha Naga Balaji. Yeah, come. Ramana devotee. Come Sri Shreya. Sri Shreya. Shloka. Angita Jabali. Come. Shreya Rao. So now they will be singing Chandrachuda Darbari Kannada in the composition of Purandaradasa.
Chandrachuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Ninage Namo Namo 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 Chandrachuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Nindage Namo. Sundaradara Vinaka Tarahara Taradara Vinaka Tarahara Taradara Vinaka Tarahara Gamsara Chandrasuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Nindage Namo. Chandrasuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Nindage Namo. Darike Dakshina Kaveri Darike Dakshina Kaveri Tungapura Vasam Darike Dakshina Kaveri Tungapura Vasam Karadari Vinaya Ganabhamarta Karadari Vinaya Ganabhamarta Ragapushananuhine Koradubhasmarudrakhiya Tarishita Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Nindage Namo Namo. Chandrasuda Shiva Shankara Parvati Ramana Nindage Namo Namo.
Little more. Riya, next, Riya will be singing Arunachalanadam. It's in just to move back. So, Ramana Bhagavan. This is in the Ragam Saranga Paditalam and composition of Muthuswami Dikshidhar. There is a background story to this. It was in 1980s. I went to Ramana Ashram with my mom and dad. At the time, I played this song in Veena. So at the time, now it is now being transferred to Riya. She will be singing it in her vocal.
अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि 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 अनिशमपि कुञ्जाम्ब समेतम् 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 अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि स्मरणात् कैवल्य प्रदचरणात् स्मरणात् कैवल्य प्रदचरणारविन्दम् तरुणादित्य कोटि संकाशचितनन्दम् तरुणादित्य कोटि संकाशचितनन्दम् करुणारसादिकन्दं शरणागत सुरवृन्दं करुणारसादिकन्दं शरणागत सुरवृन्दम् अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अनिशमपि कुञ्जाम्ब समेतम् अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अप्राकृत तेजोमय अप्राकृत तेजोमयलिङ्गम् अत्यद्भुतकरादृतसारङ्गम् अप्राकृत तेजोमयलिङ्गम् अत्यद्भुतकरादृतसारङ्गम् अप्रमेयमापनाद कोटि अरुदोदुङ्गविशतुरङ्गम् अप्रमेयमापनादलिङ्गम् अरुदोदुङ्गविशतुरङ्गम् विप्रोत्तम विशेषान्तरङ्गं वीरगुरुभूतज प्रसङ्गम् विप्रोत्तम विशेषान्तरङ्गं वीरगुरुभूतज प्रसङ्गम् स्वप्रदीपमौलिविदतगङ्गं स्वप्रकाशित सौम्यप्रसङ्गं स्वप्रदीपमौलिविदतसङ्गं स्वप्रकाशजित सौम्यपदङ्गम् अरुणाचल नाथं स्मरामि अनिशमपि पुञ्जाम्बसमेतं अरुणाचल नायकं स्मरामि Skandava, come. Sahasra, Neha, move back. Where is Amrita? Come here. Va, Harjit, va, andava ka va. Sadhana, va. Sadhana. Paka. Sadhana. Swami, bato ka. Yeah, I don't know. So I was telling you about myself going in 80s to as a child to get Bhagwan's blessings. At the time, after I finished my rendition, I was blessed and they gave me a book. It was by Om Sadhu Om, who is Ramana's devotee. And I learned many of the songs from that book, but I never got a chance to perform in any of my concerts, either in Veena or Vokal. And this is the first time these kids will be performing that song just for the centenary celebration. What a good opportunity for them. I'm glad that they are getting Bhagavan's blessings through this one.
mama mama sani pani mama mari mari sa sani pani mama mama sani pani mama mari mari sa sani pani mama mari mari sani sa 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 sani pani mama mari mari sani sa 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 Ramana Bhagavan Ramana Kamadari bin Bari bin Parakalam Kamudiana Ninenda Kiriyamal Arunagiri Balambara Bendu Agirmana Mupasiya Mura Bendu Mama mama baba baba ni mama mama baba baba ni
I would like to thank Skanda ji and Malati ji, Skanda's dad, Skanda and Bhaskar ji and Malati ji for providing us this opportunity and blessing these kids with the Bhagwan's blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lalita ji, for training the kids so well. Next is adult singing. We'll start with Appala Pattu. It'll be the first, it will be male and then the female and the male alternatively.
Yeah.
So we are going to sing a bhajan. Dhanya Dhanya Ho. This is from Sri Haridas Giri Swami's Marathi bhajans, adopted from there. Yeah, it's going to be a lead and follow type song. Dhanya Dhanya. Dhanya Dhanya Dhanya. Dhanya Dhanya Ho. Pradakshina Sakuru Rahaya Chi Guru Raya Chi. Yalishwara Puravara Vimana Uttarayati Dhanya Dhanya Ho Pradakshina Guru Rayati Achi Shri Guru Rayati. Dhanya Dhanya Ho Pradakshina Guru Rayati Achi Guru Rayati. Mritangatal Jole Bhavati Jati. Mritangatal Jole Bhavati Jati. Nam Sankirtana Nitya Anande Nachati. Dhanya Dhanya Ho Pradakshina Guru Raya Achi Guru Raya Achi. Dhanya Dhanya Ho Pradakshina Guru Raya Achi. Pradakshina Karuni Padeva Dila. Pradakshina Karuni Padeva Dila. Sriranganaja Vitala Ude Uvaragila. Dhanya Dhanya Ho Pradakshina Guru Rayati Achi Guru Rayati. Dhanya Dhanya Ho Pradakshina Guru Rayati. Guru Maharaj Guru Jai Jai Parabrahma Sadguru. Guru Maharaj Guru Jai Jai Parabrahma Sadguru. Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai Parabrahma Sadguru. Guru Maharaj, Guru Jai Jai Parabrahma Sadguru. Parabrahma Sadguru, Parabrahma Sadguru. Sri Ramana Sadguru Swami ki. Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramana. Next, it will be Arati.